Good morning, Nashville, and welcome to the Nashville Daily Podcast. We are changing scenery yet again, and we are in Nashville this time. We don't have the Great Smoky Mountain National Park behind us, but right behind us is the newest park in the city of Nashville. This is called Ravenwood Park. This is located in the Donaldson Hermitage area, right off of the Stones River Greenway, and this park opened literally about a week ago. It is fantastic. It's extremely well done. Aaron, I'm gonna bring Aaron here in a second to get his thoughts on this park. But in the meantime, while Aaron's about to get here into the frame, I want to talk about a new thing coming to Nashville. There's robo-taxis that are coming to Nashville here soon with a new company called Cruise. Cruise is going to be offering self-driving cars throughout the city of Nashville. It's basically an Uber and Lyft model all in one, but it's self-driving cars. So it's kind of terrifying to think that there's going to be robots or AI or whatever driving on Nashville streets, because Nashville can't accommodate to even the newest technology that's found on I-24. So Aaron, we are here at Ravenwood. This is the newest park here in the city of Nashville. What's your initial thoughts?
There's two things that I think immediately. One, it's nicer than I expected as far as amenities. I was really expecting this park to just be kind of trails and enjoying the area between, or the bend around the Stones River area. It's really what I anticipated this being. And it's a little bit different. You get to see some of the rolling hills of the area. The main features of this park that you can see behind us are sitting at the top of this hill. That's where the parking lot is as well. And so I really like that. I do like that there's a basketball court. The one thing I noticed moving from Kentucky to Tennessee is Nashville, at least Nashville specifically, and a lot of Tennessee, their lack of just public basketball courts outside.
Yep.
There's not a whole lot of them. So they have a full court here and a kind of side-to-side court. So we could have a lot of people who are interested in that play here, and so I think this will be actually a really popular area for the kind of the street basketball community, pickup games, things like that. And then this slide.
This thing is incredible. So this is a rope tower on the inside of it. It looks like a silo from a farm, like a farm silo. But there's two slides. There's one that's like 10 feet up, and there's another one that's like probably 20 feet up. But you have to climb these rope towers to get to that second slide. It's probably the most unique slide in the city of Nashville.
Oh, hands down.
Besides the new one at Nashville Shores.
Right.
Yeah.
I was disappointed that it's not accessible or not accessible may not be the word, but it's not part of Ravenwood Park. The actual bend around Stones River is not part of Ravenwood Park. The park is actually a lot smaller than I anticipated on it being. Now, having said that, there are a lot of really nice trails here. Yeah. It's very open. It's also, as you can probably hear in our mics here pretty soon, this is a really good place for maybe train or plane watching, plane spotting. If you or your kids or something you like to do that, this is a great open area to do that, which is great. But I really think they did a good job with the playground.
Yeah, and then to our right, there's a pavilion. So if you're looking for like a really good place to have a party, this is a great place. They're lacking right now in benches. That's definitely a need. But the thing is these benches are new and they're really nice compared to some other metro parks.
They are very nice park benches.
I think of Two Rivers Park and how old those benches are, and I'm like, these benches are night and day difference. The thing that is really interesting is this park is connected to the bend of the Stones River. So there's probably 12 to 15 miles of Greenway Trail over in this area.
That is the good thing. It's connected to the Greenway, which is really nice.
And so you could basically park at the Target or the Kohl's parking lot in Donaldson Hermitage and then walk your way into downtown.
Yeah.
So that's a super unique thing that not a lot of cities have.
No, and I will say this is going to be a really good park if you like throwing the frisbee, riding your bike, or throwing baseball or football or anything like that.
Or even if you're into bird watching.
Yeah, there are a lot of birds here.
There's a lot of birds here.
We've seen deer driving into here this morning. There's a lot of open field that's not a part of the park that you can see. You can see some of the rolling hills of Middle Tennessee because we're so high up here. And it's very open. I don't know how much land clearing they had to do in order to make this.
I have no idea. I think a lot of it was cleared because I thought this was going to be a development way back in the day.
Yeah, but it's fairly open. It's not very dense as far as trees. So this is a very open area to walk around, have picnics, throw the ball around, or the frisbee, ride your bike, and do all of those fun things.
All right, so we traveled throughout the state of Tennessee the last 2 days, Aaron, and
we did.
Yesterday,
we hit a good portion of east of Nashville.
We saw almost all of east of Nashville. So we went to Pickett State Park, and then from there we went to Brushy Mountain State Penitentiary. Mm-hmm. We'll talk about that here in a second. From Brushy Mountain State Penitentiary, we went to Seven Islands
State Birding Park.
It's a weird name.
Like that.
From there, we went to Sevierville, to Pigeon Forge. From Pigeon Forge, we went to a few places. We went to Ozone Falls, and then we went to the very top of Black Mountain. That was our first time going up there. From Black Mountain, we then went to Cumberland Trail State Park. From Cumberland Trail State Park.
The Justin P. Wilson side.
Yeah. From there, we went to Fall Creek Falls. From Fall Creek Falls, we then went to Savage Golf. From Savage Golf, we came back to Nashville. That was all within
48 hours or less.
Probably 45 hours.
Yeah.
We just drove most of East Tennessee besides like Southeast Tennessee.
Right.
So what's your thoughts?
Knoxville. We unfortunately didn't get to.
We drove through Knoxville twice.
Yeah, I guess we technically drove through it.
But we didn't stop. We never stop in Knoxville because we're going to Sevierville. So what's your thoughts on our drive over the last couple days? And then I want to hear your observations from Brushy Mountain State Penitentiary.
Yeah, so this is a very, very philosophical thing. But people value their time right now so much that I feel like we're getting into a time where many people don't have time for things like road trips.
Yeah.
They don't have time for things like discovering what there is to do. And so that's why I really like our opportunities to go and travel to these, very unique destinations, because it gives those opportunities to really kind of discover what are on these small roads that Tennessee has to offer, whether it's small little mom and pop grocery stores
or like a sign that says top secret.
A sign that says top secret. Things like that where you have no agenda except for the place you're trying to get to, and everything in between you get to really discover in a new way. So I think that especially that all the different routes of Tennessee, Highway 70, the Nashville Highway,
Highway 26. We were on that yesterday.
40,
Highway 62.
All of those things have the potential to have their own itinerary, have their own destinations, and kind of have their own thing going on. But it's really the potential to spend time in between getting to those destinations, I think, is super important. Not that we necessarily had that time during this trip, but we at least got to see the potential of when you get to that destination, what there is on the smaller roads, and not just getting off at the interstate at a major city and breaking out from there.
Yeah, so we ate at Brushy Mountain State Penitentiary. They cooked some barbecue, and then we also had the opportunity to eat at the Dreammore, which is Dolly Parton's resort. And that place is fantastic. Then we had an interesting experience it's called Frizzle Chicken Cafe. And it's the largest chicken concert show in the world.
Something like that, yeah.
But it's all animatronic chickens.
Named after celebrities.
So there was like
Michael Jordan, Hen.
And then there was like Hen Solo.
Yeah.
And Princess Leia. It was really funny, but they would sing these songs. The food was okay. It wasn't the best thing I ever had. The experience was the better experience.
Yeah, that's the weird thing about Gatlinburg, Sevierville, Pigeon Forge is the attractions have long surpassed the ability of the food in that area.
Unless you go to the Dream More or Local Go or a few other places.
Yeah, they're not as many. I think that'll be probably the next step that we see in that area.
Yeah. So what were your thoughts on Brushy Mountain State Penitentiary?
Brushy's crazy.
It's insane.
My initial reaction, so the prison closed in 2009. For them, they've only been an attraction for 5 years. They already have a fantastic gift shop, distillery, restaurant. Restaurant could probably elevate a little bit, but the restaurant's still very good. The tour on the prison is a self-guided tour, so I wasn't expecting that. I almost thought it was a guided tour. There's so much information.
Yeah.
You almost need a guided tour.
A guided tour. Yeah. But you could get a guided tour.
Yeah, you can get a guided tour.
It's only certain days of the week, and if you paid for a guided tour, you buy 15. You do a buyout of 15 tickets.
Right.
Then you could have a guided tour.
Yeah. So, but the history and the views of the area and the paranormal investigations that have been done there, and that we will hopefully be able to partner with a few people and do ourselves. I very much enjoy it. It's so secluded, and it's interesting to hear the story of how the prison and basically the workforce was that entire town there. The town
was there.
Depended on the success of the prison being there and work being available.
Yep.
And that prison being gone and or stopped in operation in 2009, I'd be interested to see the effect on the town with that.
Oh, I guarantee
because
it devastated the town.
Because that's nearly a 7-8 year gap between that and the
time it became
the attraction opening.
Yep.
And so to see the potential of that attraction thriving and being the anchor again for that town,
it's huge.
So I'm excited about the potential of that.
Yeah, it's an interesting place, and what really blew me away is there was 278,000 prisoners that went through that prison since 1896 to 2009.
And they said the average amount of deaths
per week
on that property ended up being 2 a week,
which is insane to think about. But what's also fascinating is it basically was a work prison, and they would have 4 inmates per cell, but there would only be 2 at a time. So they would work 12-hour shifts and then switch them. And there's these huge coal mines, and this happened basically until the 1960s. And then there was a hostage situation in one of the coal mines. They cut off one of the guards' heads, and they put it back on a cart, and they said, we're going to cut up the rest of the body unless you meet our demands. Basically, after that situation, the state of Tennessee is like, oh, we shouldn't have work in prisons. Like, this is a prison where these people are forced to work. So it's really fascinating, especially from a historical perspective of the U.S. prison system and how that all has laid out. And you see the tragedy, you see and hear the stories. One of the interesting stories, we watched this little 17-minute documentary on the prison. They talked about how this guy got a meat cleaver and cut through somebody's spine in the cafeteria. So it was
the other cool things, because the prison was not closed down until 2009, the opportunity for people who were involved in the prison in some way or another have had the opportunity to work there. We met a man who was a correctional officer there for over 32 years, I believe.
32 years.
When you went, did you give a tour, or there is a tour guide who used to be an inmate there?
Yes, so there was a tour guide. He was there when I went. He was an inmate there for a bank robbery for 10 years. And now he gives tours of this prison. Yeah. Which, that is mind-blowing in itself.
That's a very unique thing.
This guy used dynamite to do a bank robbery, and then he was in prison there, and now he's a tour guide at that prison. Like, it's the stories. it's so crazy. So if you're looking for a great attraction in East Tennessee, Brushy Mountain State Penitentiary is a good place. we have some exciting things coming in the works with them, where we're basically going to be departing Nashville and heading there. So that's in the works. We'll be announcing that hopefully soon. We're going to get into some development news next week. I know there's been a lot of announcements for development news. Later this week, we'll probably get into some development news. Actually, tomorrow we're going to talk about the election. Remember
give
to
a
vote.
little info of that to close out, but
Yeah,
of
so
what people need to know about
the
that.
election is tomorrow for the mayoral candidates. There's 11 people running for mayor of the city of Nashville, and also there's multiple council seats that are open as well. There's 25 people running for the Metro Council city members at large, that's a lot of people to vet and to go through. So to remember to vote tomorrow. On Friday's episode, we're going to talk about the results of who won mayor, who won some of these city council seats. Tomorrow, our episode's going to be coming out later in the day, but this is a episode with the owners of the Chef and I, Erica and Chris Rains. So we have some exciting content coming. Next week, we'll get back into the development news. So thank you for joining us here at Ravenwood Park. Have a great day.